Hello, everyone, and today's day two of our 40 days challenge. And it was so nice. I was reading all the comments in the blog yesterday, all of you who are participating. I see, the girls in London, the women in London, all over London, all branches in London, and I'm very happy with that. But not only that, I see Philippines, I see South Africans, I see United States, um, Mexico, Venezuela, so many countries. So I am happy because it's really reaching in different places. And it doesn't matter where you are, as long as you understand the language and you really want to be beautiful in God's eyes, then you can work this in yourself. We can work it together. And today I would like to speak to you about something that is very important and crucial in the objective, in the target that we have to be beautiful in God's eyes. When I was young and in my country, there is this time when you have to decide not in my country, everywhere there is this time when you have to decide what you're gonna do in life. I didn't know Jesus. I didn't know God. I didn't know faith, what it meant. I didn't know anything about it. And, my parents had a dream for me. They wanted me to be a doctor. So funny. I never wanted to be a doctor. I, I really loved teaching. I wanted to be a teacher. Since I was a child, you know what I would do? I would gather all children around the area where I lived, but children smaller than me. I would gather them, take them to my house, and then I had a blackboard, and I would sit them there, and I would force them to 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 have classes. I wanted to teach them how to write, how to do. They wanted to play, but I wanted to to force. It was kind of funny when I remember. It was really funny, and I never wanted to be a doctor. And plus, to be honest, I was not the kind who really dedicated myself to these studies and was very, for you to be a doctor, for you to do, medical school, you have to sacrifice a lot. You have to sacrifice, at that time when I was a teenager, you know, I was changing and I had to, people who were doing medical school, they had to study a lot. And they couldn't have really a life, let's say like that, because they would, whilst everybody were going out and doing everything, they were sacrificing, they were studying. But, I went and I did there in Brazil is kind of different than here and in America. You do, when you finish um, high school, I think it's high school, yeah, when you finish high school, you do like I don't know the name, it's like a test or something, which if you pass, you will be able to join certain universities, some of them public, and you don't have to pay, and blah, blah, blah. Okay. So I didn't want to sacrifice. And I didn't study, but I went there to see if I would pass for medical school. And of course, I didn't. I didn't, because I didn't want to sacrifice. And for everything in life, if you want to conquer great things in your life, there is always sacrifice involved. It doesn't matter what you want. There is always sacrifice. For everything, you need to sacrifice. And with God, it's not different. With God, it's not different. And with God, there are the various kinds of sacrifices. There is the spiritual sacrifice, there is the physical sacrifice, there is the financial sacrifice. And we need to go through all of them. Yeah, we need to go through all of them because we need to show Him that our heart is in nothing else other than Him. But today I'm going to speak about a different kind of sacrifice. It's a sacrifice. It's a kind of spiritual sacrifice. But it's a sacrifice that people don't like to do it. I don't like to do it. I have to be honest, I'm gonna fake. I don't like it. But I have to. And that's where comes those two boxes that I spoke to you yesterday. Do you remember? I said I would speak to you about the two boxes. I have the two boxes here with me. And you understand what these two boxes represent. Let's see if I can show you the boxes. All right. This box represents you. This one represents God. Let's say that this is you, me, and this is God. You know, for you to be filled with God's presence, you need to take the little monsters, the ugly little things that you have inside your life. You see, you need to take them out. You need to take the snakes. See? You need to take them. You need to take the rats, the ugly creatures, the whatever, more snakes, more rats. What else? Yeah, more ugly creatures. Every time you decide, we decide, I decide to take the ugly things that I have inside of me and throw away, I'm giving space for God to put something of Him in me. For example, I was the kind of person whom, when people would tell me like this, it was a long time ago, people would tell me like this, oh, you have, Nanda, you are like this, and you can't be like this. And I would say, but this is me. This is who I am. Why do you want me to change? And it's interesting because the more you keep these things with yourself, the more you tell yourself, no, this is me. How can you have more of God inside of you? If you don't get rid of these ugly creatures, these ugly things, if you don't get rid of this, how can you have more of God? How can I have more of God? And that's where comes the sacrifice. It's a sacrifice for you to be humble, for you to accept that you need to change, that it's not good to be that way. Many times God shows you things in you that is not good, but you keep on insisting, oh, but this is me, this is who I am like that. If you keep on insisting, this is you, this is who you are, I am like that, you will always be the same person. And you will not be able to have more of God in you. Because the more you have of you, of your own desires, of your own ways, your own ideas, the more you have of you, the less you have of God. That is the truth. But when you surrender, when you humble yourself, when you accept correction, when when problems happen, and you don't look at the person, you don't look at the other person, you look at yourself. Okay, why is God allowing this to happen? Why is God allowing me to pass through this? I always ask myself when I go through problems with people or whatever kind of problems I go through, I always ask myself like this: why is God allowing me to go through this? What is it that He wants to teach me? Because when we go through problems and people tell us our mistakes or something ugly in us, we don't want to see it. We never want to see it. And I am not different. But one day I realized like this: if I don't pay attention to what troubles people in me, how am I going to grow? How am I going to be different? And I do believe that everything that happens in my life, it's God working in me. So if I believe that it's God, and I believe that everything happens for a reason, so there is a reason for Him to be allowing that problem to happen to me. Maybe it's in my workplace, people say, oh, you are like this, and I don't accept. But I have to get real and say, okay, my God, they are saying this, and I don't want to be, if this is me, really, I don't want to be like that. So you have to put aside, and it's a sacrifice. Is a kind of sacrifice. You have to put aside your ideas, because we always think that we are so good, right? We always think that we know already, that we know a lot. We always think that we are this, we don't want to see that we need change. We don't want to see that. But God allows these things to happen to us so we can see, sometimes for us to see our weaknesses, things that we need to change. So you need to be alert. When problems happen in your life, when people tell you the truth, when people tell you something about yourself, don't turn against the person. It doesn't matter. The person can be demon possessed. Don't turn against the person. Look at yourself. Okay, how can I change them? How can I be better? If that person is saying, well, God is allowing this, maybe I don't see it. My God, help me to see, help me to change. So the more you seek from God the help, the more you throw out, all these ugly things, all these things that you have inside, and you change, it means that you are starting to have more of God and less of you. And it's beautiful. You turn into this beautiful woman. Don't you ever say this again: this is who I am, I am like that. No. You know why? Because we can always be better than that. We can always be better than who we are. Remember that song, More of You and Less of Me? Think about that. What are the areas in your life where there could be more of God and less of you? This is your task for today, for you to think. What is it that should be more of God and less of you? What is it that is lacking? What kind of sacrifices you need to do and you don't want to do? What kind of truths people have been telling you about yourself and you don't want to hear? You get hurt and then you stop talking to other people. You see, this is not faith. We spoke about faith yesterday, and this is not faith. Faith is this: okay, my God, I trust that you are allowing, this is faith. You are allowing me to go through this. So show me, where is my mistake? Where can I be better than this? So for today, here is a task for you to think. Not only today, you have to keep this inside of you forever. From now on, this is inside of you. It's time for us to change from the inside out. Let's have more of God and less of us. A big kiss to you all, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.